Welcome to the second video in preparation for the Topic 5 assessment tomorrow. We're on page 215 in the Envision workbook, and we're going to just do some select problems. We're not going to do the entire assessment practice, but this will help you for tomorrow. So we're going to start with, we'll work on the ones that are circled. It happens to be that each of them on this page, front page, we will do, but on the following pages we'll skip around. So in number 1, it says select all the equations that are reasonable estimates for the quotient 184 divided by 8. Well, when I see this, I think if they're reasonable estimates, we're going to be rounding or using compatible numbers. So 184 divided by 8, I'm going to look for something times 8, or 180 something divided by 8 that will be come out evenly. So I'm going to look at the first one, 160 divided by 8. We've kept the 8 the same, and we've used a compatible number that's fairly close to 184. That would be 160, and so I would choose this answer. The second one, 200 divided by 5, I've rounded this 184 up to the nearest 100, but I have then rounded down the 8 quite a bit. So this is not going to be a reasonable estimate. So we're not going to choose this one. The next one, 180, so I can see rounding 184 to 180 divided by 9. 9 is 1 up to make it a compatible number because 18 goes in, is divisible by 9 2 times. So that would be a reasonable estimate. Looking at the next one, 150, again, we're just going down too much. We're usually what we want to look at is we're rounding, changing one or the other. If we do both, they're still very close. 150 and 5 are just too far apart from our original 184 and 8, so we're not going to choose this one. And then 180 divided by 6, there's no reason to change the 8 because 180, which is close to 184, is divisible by 9, which is so much closer, so I would not choose that one. You want to choose the closest, and 9 is much closer as a factor to be divisible by 18 than 6 would be. All right, for number 2, I crossed out draw a bar diagram for the equation and then solve. Your assessments, number 1, are multiple choice, so you won't be drawing any diagrams. And number 2, when I looked at this problem, I don't see this as a bar diagram problem because I see this as one of the first topic 5-1 problems as a mental math problem. I look at 2400 divided by 6, and I see that 24 is divisible by 6 4 times because 6 times 4 is 24. That leaves me with 100. It's going to go in 100 or 2 zeros. That's all we need to do is add the 2 zeros. If we wanted to look at it this way, 6 would go into 24 4 times, or 400 times. Each of these zeros have to be accounted for. We could have done partial products, but we don't need to even do that as well. This one happens to be just an easy one to look at in mental math because we see that 24 is divisible by 6. Number 3, Mrs. Bolus has 2 pieces of fabric to make costumes. One piece is 11 yards long and the other is 15 yards long. Each costume requires 3 yards of fabric. How many costumes can Mrs. Bolus make? Well, she has 11 plus 15 yards, or 26 yards of fabric. Each costume requires 3 yards. So I'm going to divide my 26 by 3. 26 goes in to, 3 goes into 26 8 times. That's 24. We subtract. We have 2 yards left over, but we cannot do anything with the remainder or the extra 2 yards because we need 3 yards to make a costume, so we are able to make 8 costumes. The extra would just be extra, or if she could get an extra yard to add to that to make another costume. But otherwise, we can only make 8 full costumes. Number 4 says, write an equation to show how to divide 453 into 3 equal groups. Okay, again, this could be solved in many different ways. Our equation, okay, looking at the model, how would this work? Well, we have 453. 3 times 100 is 300. So now our 453, we can take away the 300, and we're left with 153. How can we get something close to 153 here? Well, I know that 3 times 5 is 15, so 3 times 50 would be 150. Now I take that away, and I'm left with 3. So 3 is what's left. Oops, the 3 would go here, and that would go 1 time. 3 times 1 is 3. So 300 plus 150 plus 3. Remember, this total needs to be what we started with, what we're dividing up. So that is 453. And when we divided it by 3, we came up with 100 plus 50 plus 1, or 151. What's the best estimate for 3,350 divided by 8? Well, this is an estimate, so we want to round this or find a compatible number. So I know that 8 times 4 is 32. So if I round this to 3,200, I've got my 32. And that would go not just 4 times, there's 2 zeros, 400. So I'd choose C. Moving on to 216, we're going to look at number 7. Use compatible numbers to estimate the quotient 530 divided by 9. Then find the exact answer. Well, 530 divided by 9, I'm looking for a compatible number. I know that 9 times 6 equals 54. 9 times 5 is only 45, so I think that's too far away. So I think we would stick to this one. So we're going to use the compatible number of 540 because of the 54 divided by 9. 9 goes into 54 6 times, but it's 54 tens, or 60 would be our quotient. Okay, so these two are both finding remainders. Those are the leftovers. Let's go ahead and just take a look at number 10. Number 10, 52 divided by 7 equals 7, because 7 times 7 is 49, with a remainder of 3. So that one would not fulfill this. It's asking which one does not have a remainder of 3. 123 divided by 7. Well, I know that that would go 10 times would be 70. I'm using partial quotients. 7 times 7 is 49. That would be 17, remainder 4. So this one does not have a remainder of 3 because it's a remainder of 4. Let's try the next one, 451 divided by 7. I know that 6 times 7 is 42, so 60 must be 420. I have 31 left over. That would go 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. And that would give me a remainder, 64 remainder 3. So that one does not fulfill it. I'm not going to mark it because it says not. Then we're going to do the 794 divided by 7. I know that 100 times is 700. 94 left over, so that goes 10 times. That's 70. 7 goes into 24 3 times. That's 21, and that would be a remainder of 3. So only choice B does not have a remainder of 3. Now 63 divided by 3 and number 11 is the same thing as 60 plus 3 divided by 3. We can break the 63 up. We can do it this way as well. 33 plus 30 is 63 divided by 3. So these two are equivalent. Now 60 divided by 3 is 20 plus 3. So it's not the same thing because we can't pull that 3 out and not divide it by the 3, so that doesn't work. Now this is 60 divided by 3 plus 3 divided by 3. So we would have an equivalent. Oops, so I will take back my answer. It says which is not, I had covered it up with all of the writing right here, not an equivalent. So our answer would be C. This one is not equivalent to this. All right, use scrap paper. Don't try to cram it all in like we did here. Okay, on the next page, 217, we're going to do number 12. Select all the quotients that are reasonable estimates for 472 divided by 6. Well, 447 divided by 6 would go approximately, let's see, 8 times, but we're not asking that. We're asking which would be a reasonable estimate. So we want to use compatible numbers. Right off the bat, I would choose 480 because this could easily round to 480 divided by 6. And I would choose, this one could round to 5. No, we wouldn't do that. Definitely wouldn't do this because we're lowering this way too much. And that's all I would choose for a reasonable estimate. It's approximately going to go 80 times. That would give us 80. All right, number 14, 1,600 divided by 8. What basic fact did you use? Right away, I see 16 is divisible by 8. So 1,600 divided by 8, I'm going to have 2 zeros. That's it. It still goes 2 times into the 16, and then we still have the 2 zeros. Okay, then we're going to just skip over to 16. 432 divided by 8. How can you use the answer from part A to find 4,320 divided by 8? All right, so let's first start here. We can do this multiple ways. I know that in my head I'm thinking that that this could go either way. Round down to 400 divided by 8 is going to be about 50. So somewhere around 50 is where I'm looking to have an answer. So let's say we do 50 here. That is 400. We have 32 left. 8 goes into 32 4 times exactly. So we have our partial quotient. 50 plus 4 is 54. The difference between 432 and 4,320 is the 0. Remember, at the early part of this topic, when you add the 0, you're just going to add, it's going to come up in your quotient as well because you're dividing the same number. However, you have, it's a 10, so you're going to have 432 tens, so we just add the 0. 101. On the back, 17. The pizza stand gives patrons a free pizza when they collect 8 coupons. How many free pizzas can Mrs. Fowler get if she has 78 coupons? So I am dividing 78 divided by 8. And we know that 8 times 9 is 72. And we subtract, and we have 6 extra coupons. So she can get 9 pizzas because she has 9 times 8 coupons. She needs 8 coupons per free pizza. We have 6 remaining, 6 coupons remaining. How does the remainder affect the number of pizzas she gets? It does not. We cannot trade in 6 coupons for an extra pizza to raise that up to 10. She is going to need more coupons for the next free pizza. How many more? Well, it takes 8 coupons, so 8 take away 6 tells me she needs 2 more coupons. So she gets 9 free pizzas, but she needs 2 more coupons to get the next free pizza. And number 18, estimate 257 divided by 5. I would see that as 250 because I see 25 divided by 5 is 5. So 5 tens, that would be 50. That's an estimate because I know 5 times 5 equals 25. How can you use multiplication to estimate the quotient? What number times 5? This 5 gives us the 25. And finally, we're just going to skip over to 23. Holly uses 7 sheets of tissue paper to make 1 flower. If she bought a package of 500 sheets of tissue paper, about how many flowers would Holly be able to make? So we've got 500 divided by 7. I know that 50 is not evenly divisible by 7, but I do know that 49 divided by 7 is 7. So we could make that compatible and say 490 divided by 7 is not just 7, we've added a 0, 70. So when it says estimate the number of flowers, we have an estimate. It's about 70 because we changed our original problem from 500 to 490. So it's an estimate. Okay, I know we went very quickly through here, but we had a lot to cover. You had the other video and I didn't want to keep you too long. These are the types of problems you need to be able to do for your assessment tomorrow. So rewatch, message me if you need any one-on-one help, and good luck on your Topic 5 assessment.